Gentleman in the back with the yellowish tie.
Mr. Mayor, thank you for coming to Eastern Queens. My question has to deal with the Taxi and Limousine Commission. We have probably one of the highest concentrations of taxi drivers in this council district than anywhere else in the city. One of the issues that we're dealing with is that a taxi driver's license gets suspended upon arrest, not conviction. And as an attorney, I've had the privilege of representing at least 100 members of the New York Taxi Workers Alliance in criminal court. Over 90% of these cases wind up getting dismissed or reduced to a violation. They can go back to their job. Unfortunately, it takes about 3 months for this to happen, and they're out of work. If you get a desk appearance ticket, the wait time in Manhattan on a return date is at least 2 months, and no one in the DA's office is going to look at that case until it gets heard at arraignment. Basically, you do not have a presumption of innocence right now if you're a taxi driver. You're suspended upon arrest. I'd like for you to reconsider this rule and allow it that they only get suspended upon conviction.
I appreciate the question very much. I want to say, and I want everyone to understand this, town hall meetings are very valuable for all of us because we get to hear perspectives we may not hear otherwise. So for example, just to unite the last two questions, very different questions, but hearing the concern about noise helps me to think about the changes we have to make in our approach to be more aggressive. Now you bring up a concern that I hear the question about, is it fair if someone, let's say they are arrested but it turns out they were innocent, that they've lost income in the meantime? I understand that's a real issue. I think the counterbalance here that's a challenge is safety. That to get to the point of arrest, I think it's a fair assumption in a free society that there's something substantial has to happen. Well, I'm just going to posit it. Not always, but generally speaking. The problem here is we're licensing people to take other people's lives into their hands as drivers. So I think, I'm not sure it's the same standard one might say as it was just a civilian going about their life. We are giving people a governmental license to drive other people. That being said, I understand your concern. I'm going to go back and talk to the people at the TLC about it. I'm not ready to say I would change the policy yet, but I think you're raising a good concern, and maybe one thing that would be interesting is to look at what level of infraction do we apply that standard to. If it's a more minor infraction, we might have more flexibility. So I'm going to follow up on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.